not just because I need your help, although I do. I'm here because the country needs your help. I see a lot of folks here who worked tirelessly on my 2008 campaign. And let's face it, you did not do it because you thought this was going to be a cakewalk. When you decide to support a candidate named Barack Hussein Obama, you know the odds are not necessarily in your favor. You didn't need a poll to tell you that wasn't going to be a sure thing. But the point is, you didn't get involved in this campaign just because of me. You did it because you were making a commitment to each other. You had a shared vision for America. It wasn't a vision where just a few were doing well and everybody else is left to fend for themselves and play by their own rules. It was a big, bold, generous vision of America, where everybody who works hard has a chance to get ahead, not just those at the very top. That's the vision we shared. That's the commitment you made to each other. And we knew it wasn't going to be easy. We knew the changes that we believed in wouldn't necessarily come quickly, but we understood that if we were determined, that we could overcome any obstacle, that we could meet any challenge. And in just 3 years, because of what you did in 2008, we've begun to see what change looks like. We've begun to see it. Think about it. Change is the decision we made to rescue the American auto industry from collapse when some politicians said, let Detroit go bankrupt. There were 1 million jobs on the line, and the fate of communities all across the Midwest was on the line, and we weren't going to let it happen. I placed my bets on American workers. Today, GM is back on top as the #1 automaker in the world. Chrysler is growing faster than any other car company. Ford is investing billions in plants and factories all across America, bringing thousands of jobs home. 200,000 new jobs over the last 2.5 years. The American auto industry is back, and that happened because of you. That happened because of you. There are folks, like Jeff, all across the country. All across Michigan, all across Ohio, Indiana, all across the Midwest. Because you had confidence in America's capacity to change, they were able to show just what they could do. Change is the decision we made to stop waiting for Congress to do something about our oil addiction, and finally raise fuel efficiency standards on cars. With the agreement of the auto industry, by the middle of the next decade, we will be driving American-made cars better than ever, that get 55 miles to a gallon. That saves the typical family over $8,000 at the pump. That's the environment. That's what changes. That happened because of you. Change is the first bill I signed into law. Lily Lightback. A law that says women deserve an equal day's pay for an equal day's work. Our daughters should have same opportunities as our sons. Change is the fight we won to stop handing out over $60 billion in taxpayer giveaways to banks who are managing the student loans. Give that money directly to students, and now you've got millions of students all across America who are benefiting with higher student loans, more help. That happened because of you. This young man right here mentioned it when I saw him behind stage. Change is healthcare reform that we passed after a century of trying. Because of your commitment, here in the United States of America, nobody has to go broke because they get sick. Already 2.5 million young people have health insurance that didn't have it before, because this law lets them stay on their parents' plan. Millions of seniors now paying less for their prescription drugs. It means Americans can no longer be denied or dropped by their insurance companies when they need care the most. And it American will be able to get health care regardless of who you are, how much money you make. It doesn't matter if you've got a pre-existing condition, you will be able to get coverage. That's what changes. Changes the fact that for the first time in history, you don't have to hide who you love in order to serve the country you love, because we ended Don't Ask Questions. Changes the promise we made in 2008. For the first time in 9 years, there are no Americans fighting in Iraq. We have refocused our efforts on the terrorists who actually attacked us on 9/11. Al-Qaeda is weaker than it's ever been thanks to our amazing troops. Osama bin Laden no longer walks the face of this earth. We have begun the transition out of Afghanistan. That's what changes. You know, none of this change would have happened if it weren't for you. And now we've got more work to do. We've got a lot more work to do. There's still too many Americans here in Michigan and all across the country that are out there looking for work. There's still too many Americans who have a tough time paying the bills or making the mortgage. We're still recovering from the worst economic crisis of our generation. But the good news is that over the past 2 years, businesses have added over 4 million new jobs. Our manufacturers are creating jobs for the first time since the 1990s. Now we've got to keep it going. The last thing we can afford to do is to go back to the very same policies that got us into this mess in the first place. That's part of what this election is all about. That's what these other folks who are running for this office want to do. They make no secret about it. They want to roll back Wall Street reform, so suddenly Wall Street's playing by its own rules again. They want to roll back health insurance reform and go back to the days when insurance companies could jack up your rates or deny you coverage without any reason. They want to spend trillions of dollars more on tax breaks for our wealthiest citizens, even if it means adding to the deficit, even if it means gutting student loan programs, education programs, and clean energy, and making Medicare more expensive for seniors. You know, their philosophy is that we're better off if a few are doing well at the top and everybody else is fending for themselves. And they're wrong. You know, I have no doubt they love this country, but they're wrong about this. In the United States of America, we have always been greater together than we are on our own. We're better off when we stick to that notion that if you work hard in this country, no matter where you come from, no matter what you look like, no matter what your religious faith, if you work hard, if you believe in this country, you can do well enough to raise a family, own a home, send your kids to college, put a little away for retirement. That idea, that's what's at stake. That's the choice in this election. This is not just another political debate. There's always going to be debating in Washington. I mean, they'll argue about anything. But this is real. This is a make or break moment for the middle class in this country. And all those who are fighting to get into the middle class. Are we going to create those rungs on the ladder to opportunity so that everybody has a shot? We can't go back to an economy that's built on outsourcing and bad debt and phony financial profits. That's what we saw before 2008.
That's right.
Or we can fight for an economy that's built to last, built on American manufacturing, American energy, and skills for American workers, and the values that made this country great. Hard work, fair play, shared responsibility. You know, you look at these amazing planes in this museum and cars in this museum, and you're reminded part of what made us great is it's making stuff. And I want the next generation of manufacturing taking root, not in Asia, not in Europe. I want it to happen right here in Detroit, right here in Pittsburgh, in Cleveland, in the United States of America. I don't want us to just be known for buying stuff from other countries. I want to invent and build and sell American products all around the world. Stop rewarding businesses that ship jobs overseas. I want to reward companies that are investing here, creating jobs in America. I want us to make sure that we've got the best schools in the world. That means reform. It means properly funding our schools. It means looking out for the man or woman at the front of the classroom. You know, a good teacher can increase. A good teacher can increase the lifetime earnings of a classroom by over $250,000. A great teacher can offer an escape from poverty for a child who thinks maybe they're bound by their circumstances, but suddenly that teacher helps them to raise their sights. So I don't want us defending the status quo, but I also don't want a bunch of folks in Washington bashing teachers. I want to give schools the resources they need to keep good teachers, to reward the best ones. I want to give schools the flexibility they need to teach with creativity and passion, stop teaching to the test, and train teachers properly, and those who can't make it, we understand they shouldn't be in the classroom. We want accountability, but we also want to make sure that we understand how important teaching is. Nothing's more important. And when kids do graduate from high school, we've got to make college affordable. Americans already owe more tuition debt than credit card debt. That's one of the reasons Congress has to stop interest rates on student loans, which are scheduled to go up in July if we don't do anything. Yeah, that's not good. And then colleges and universities have to do their part by keeping tuition from going up. And state legislatures have to step up and make sure that they're providing the support to higher education that's necessary. Higher education cannot be a luxury. Whether it's a 2-year program at a community college, or a 4-year program, or a post-doctorate program, it is not a luxury. It is an economic imperative. Every American family should be able to afford getting the skills they need to compete in this global economy. We need to be supporting scientists and researchers who are trying to make the next breakthrough in clean energy or biotech. I want clean energy to happen here in the United States. I want advanced batteries made here in the United States. I want electric cars made here in the United States. I want solar and wind power made here in the United States. We've been subsidizing oil companies with taxpayer dividends for about 100 years now. It's time for us to double down on clean energy that has never been more promising. And we need to build in America. Roads, bridges, ports, airports, broadband lines. Now that's what this museum reminds us of, is what it means to build. You know, it's time we stop taking the money that we're spending at war. Use half of it to pay down our debt. Use the other half to do some nation building here at home.